Hello, welcome to my channel once again. In today's video, I have African Americans that came all the way from San Diego, that came all the way from America, San Diego City College. They came to learn the culture of slavery in Ghana. They came to learn about the slavery that happened years ago. They went to the Cape Coast Castle, they went to the Elmina Castle, they went to Asin Manso where the slaves had their last bath. I want us to go into this video, watch, come back and talk.
Hello, welcome to Accra.
We are connected. We come from the same roots. Based on history, we only got separated due to the transatlantic slave trade.
Our names were given to us by people who enslaved us and oppressed us. And our responsibility is to show symbolically and also in reality that we are no longer subjected to those particular groups of people who held that dominion over us.
I got a name. It was named Kobina Aqua, and Kobina means Tuesday. Aqua is my name, which means the strongest man in the village.
My name is Akua Nakua. It means I was born on Wednesday. From what I was told, it means that I turn my pain into happiness.
When we arrived at the slave dungeons, Cape Coast and Elmina, I felt the heavy energy immediately. I found myself being in that space almost claustrophobic, having a hard time breathing, knowing that there was so much pain there.
So hard to explain all of the emotions and the spectrum of emotions that you feel. The fear and the anxiety, walking along with your colleagues, knowing that this is the last steps that someone took.
How in the world can anyone downplay the pain that we have gone through as a community and as a race?
The All-African Diaspora Education Summit was created to reacquaint our people with what African-centered education is all about.
In middle school, I was learning about the slavery. They didn't tell us about the rooms, what they made kids, women go through, what they made kids go through.
I teach this material and I thought I understood it and I thought I was ready for it, but I wasn't ready. I think I'm not going to be able to teach this material the same way because I realize I haven't been doing it justice.
As I was riding the bus, I thought of all the history books I read. I thought of Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, my mother. I knew I was going home to say thank you, that whoever had made it across for me, that I had made it back for them.
That was a heavy day. There was a lot of emotions. The rain felt good in a way, like a cleansing kind of a way. I think I felt grief, sadness, and the anger, but also at the same time leaving with a sense of pride of knowing that my descendants have survived and persevered, and I'm still here today.
Not a lot of people know this, but water holds memory. Being in the water and hearing how they would throw the dead slaves into the ocean made me feel very connected, but also sad. I wanted to cry.
We will continue, but man, the way these people feel is different and you might not understand. The way they feel is very different, but you will not understand.
Imagine one day you go home and your brother's not there, your sister's not there, your mother's not there, and you don't know what happened to them, and you'll never get that closure.
I don't know how we can retell that story. I don't think you can write it. I don't think you can document it. It has to be felt.
Coming back to Africa will show us the real history of what was done to our people, and what it will ultimately do is show that African Americans have truly went through a lot and they are succeeding.
I was able to find my identity. For a long time, you try to figure out where you fit in, especially me being the lighter complexion.
As a mixed race person, I sometimes fear of acceptance and things like that. And so the level of warmth and acceptance within Ghana, you feel family everywhere you go.
Our history is deeper than what we thought it was. For me personally, I didn't take my history serious because they just kept throwing it in our face like slavery, slavery, slavery. And it was the same rinse and repeat thing. So for me, I was tired of it. And then once I got here, even though they were talking about slavery, it was like a whole different eye-opening thing.
We don't dwell on oppression. We have a singular search for sovereignty and agency. Agency means self-determined power. There are those that may attempt to oppress us, but we refuse to be oppressed. Ashe?
I locked my hair out here, which was one of the biggest decisions, one of the biggest decisions in my life. I know who I am. I'm not ashamed to be who I am. I'm inspired to learn more about my culture. I want to teach more, at least, you know, the conversations that I have to be able to give people the authentic version of Ghana as opposed to the propaganda that we've been, you know, told.
It made me realize like how happy I am to really be a black man, because, you know, and especially in the US, they kind of watered it down. If you're not a rapper, an athlete, or nobody, I'm a black man. Whether that could be me being a librarian, a journalist, an electrician, anything, I'm going to be successful in what I'm doing.
Many times, the messages, the cultural lessons that we're trying to get to pass on get disrupted by miseducation and media manipulation.
Arriving on campus in the University of Ghana was actually such a cool experience. They had drummers, people just dancing. For me, I really just have a big appreciation for dance and performance.
At the University of Ghana and pulling up and seeing all the acknowledgement of W.E.B. Du Bois, this man left the U.S. willingly because he wanted to come home to the motherland and establish something for us, and how that legacy is still standing.
I'm beyond my ancestors' wildest dreams. I am the living manifestation of their survivor and will to survive. And so I will never be able to remove that. And knowing that there's no place for self-doubt, there's no place for self-hate, there's no place for negative talk.
Even though we have different experiences, we still share the same resilience, the struggle, the survival, and then the pride. Black Americans are living today because someone refused to die. They are living today because someone had the will. Someone decided, no, I'm going to live. My descendants would live and then would come back to their roots.
I only hope that more and more people get to go and more people are educated on our history, because if not, people are never going to take us seriously.
We create black spaces, even in white institutions. We're capturing that sense of self to free up black minds and black genius to know there's no limitations of what they're able to do and accomplish.
We can tell about an institution's commitment based on what their budget says. These things should be instituted so that there can be support for faculty and students and support staff every year to engage in these activities.
Africa has taken hold of me, because this is where I think God planted me. I find myself in all people, but this is home.
You know, one thing that I always say is that if you are an African and you are in Africa, and African Americans come or Black Americans come and they are trying to learn about the culture and all that and the way they feel, I feel like most people in Africa, we don't really understand how they feel, because man, they imagine you being taken from where you are supposed to be and taken to an unknown place, a place that you don't know anybody there. You have lived there, given giving birth to, even your name, your culture, a lot of things have been taken away from you. Just imagine that thing. You see, so people don't understand, especially Africans, we don't understand that kind of feeling. Some of them are even crying. And it's so like, man, that's why I always say that when they come to Africa, we should not try to, one, make them feel like they don't belong here and all that. They belong here. This is their home. Allow them to breathe. Yes, allow them to breathe. Allow them. They deserve to be here. I know that Ghana, we don't discriminate and all that, and we accept them and all that, but there are other African countries that we've heard, some of them have had some bad experiences and all that. Let's love lead and let's accept them. It's so beautiful, just like seeing them.